About that later then. Coach Stoops is now joining us. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Matt?
I hear that excitement in your voice. Drew and I were just talking. They showed a replay of the Tennessee game where we were last night, and you looked so stressed out. And I thought and we both said, I hope you get a chance to take a vacation. I know you're recruiting now, but are you going to do that for us at some point?
Maybe later during the dead period. But I tell you, I'm just excited because I'm on the recruiting trail, as you know. So we're sitting here with your boy, Coach Morrow, right now. We're cutting a swath through Ohio, so I'm just excited about getting out and getting some recruits in the program that could help us. And, you know, we wrapped up a tough year and all that, but we went right back to work on Sunday, and we had official visits on campus and met and went out and saw recruits. And so we've been running ever since, but it's good. It's an exciting time.
Well, I want to talk about two different things with you. A little bit about the season, then a little bit about the future. So let's talk with the season at first. Now, I know that you're a guy who doesn't like to make excuses. We've talked about that a lot, and I respect that about you. You went through this year. Was it tougher than you thought? And if so, why or not? Like, when you go back and you look at this year, how do you look at it?
Yeah, it was tougher than you thought. You always go in. You know, I've said it. You've heard me talk about it. I knew what I was getting into, and you know, when you're in the midst of it, it doesn't make it any easier. Number one, but it's not about me. It's about the program and the kids and getting better. You always believe, as a coach, all of us believe we could, you know, take anybody, and create it into a winner. And you know, sometimes it doesn't happen as fast as you want it to. You and I both know it takes an army to be good in the SEC in football. I mean, it takes an awful lot of guys in doing things right for an awful lot of years. And so, you know, it was tough at times, but, you know, I felt like there were some good moments, bad moments. And, you know, just in general, if you're asking me to sum it up, you know, we were too inconsistent, you know, and when with inconsistency, you get frustrated, you know. So, but
is it the kind of thing? I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, is it the kind of thing that you see and you go, okay, if we have a little more talent, we'll be able to make those plays, or if we make fewer mistakes, or is it a little bit of both?
It's definitely a little bit of both. I will never put that all on the players and or on the coaches, you know, the assistant coaches and all that. I've said it, and it's true. We can all do better, and we'll do better, and we're all in this together. And you know, it's our job. I've never shied away from that. You know, with the talent that we had or whatever we had, I said it's my job, it's our job to put them in a position to be successful. I felt like we did that sometimes, and we didn't always make the play, and I felt like we better at times. So, you know, I think there's a good balance there that we can all do better.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions I get asked the most, and this is probably the one I get asked the most. People heard when you came, especially with Neil, this notion of the air raid, and it didn't seem quite too airy. What happened?
Fair criticism. You know, I understand that. First of all, I never called it the air raid. You know, but I'm okay with the excitement and people. You know, they can call it what they want. But Neil's offense is Neil's offense. You know, and I thought Neil did a very good job of trying to put our players in the best position we can. There's a fine balance there of trying to improve, to build your program to what you want it to be, but also trying to win games. So I think if you just look at the things we did well, we were good when we were balanced. We weren't great at throwing the ball, Matt. You know, so what good does it do to just drop back and throw the ball all over the yard when then you're going to lose by 40 points a game?
I'm with you. I understand.
You know, we gave our kids some opportunities to win. I'm okay with the criticism. Can we do better? Absolutely. You know, but I really believe in what Neil does and what we do as offensive staff, and we have good plays out there. You see it every game, and then sometimes we don't make them, and sometimes we can coach better. All those things, you know. But I think it's a fair criticism. I mean, I think we want to throw the ball around. I think we need to throw the ball around a little bit. But I think we also need to have some balance and have some physicality to us. And actually, that's what we actually did best this year.
Yeah, I did see that, especially that seemed to improve as the year went on. The quarterback position is what fans will focus on, and you had a lot of injuries. I mean, I think the couple games where you had Jalen playing healthy there in the middle of the year, your offense looked pretty good at times, but then he got dinged and it changed. Where does the quarterback position stand going into next year? There are 5 guys right now that could be on the roster. Will there be 5 guys next year, and where does it stand?
I'm planning on 5 guys being on the roster next year. I know you're right. I think at times when we started hitting our stride and moving the ball very well, and you have a chance to start gelling as a team right in the middle of the year, and then you get another injury, and then you have to go back the other way. I mean, that's tough as well. I think we need to get better around them. It's not just the quarterbacks. Do the quarterbacks need to play better? Absolutely. But we also need to play better at offensive line. We need to run the ball better. We need to play better at wide receiver, the whole deal. So, I think, we'll see where the quarterback situation goes. It's frustrating, Matt, for me to sit here and say, after I said it all last year, it's up in the air, but and I know it is.
Yeah.
And I need somebody to come in and take it over. And so the new guys, the guys that didn't play last year, absolutely are going to get a very good look. I have a good feel for what these guys did, having played all year and getting all the snaps. So, I think the players that we have on our roster that played this year with Max and Jalen will get better, and I'm very interested to see how the other guys do.
All right, so 2 questions on that. You do expect to have 5 guys in spring camp with them, and then secondly, Drew Barker. I know you can talk about him now because he signed his scholarship papers. Is it reasonable? Because a lot of fans want it. Is it reasonable to think a kid could come out of high school and start next year?
Absolutely.
That's pretty definitive. He's that good?
We believe so. Yes.
Well, that's a pretty strong statement. I like that. Now, let me ask you, after the season, you said that, there was going to be some changes. You had the suspensions there at the end of the year, and you said there's going to be some program changes. It wasn't clear whether that meant players, staff, what does that mean, and what should we expect?
The staff, I'm very happy with the staff. There will be no changes with the staff. I mean, there's always guys that could get other opportunities and they could look at and things like that. I don't anticipate that. I don't want that to happen. I'm very pleased with the staff. I'm driving around here with Coach Morrow right now. I think you could tell by the recruiting that he's done. I'm going to give him a title of recruiting coordinator, which he's deserved.
Good.
Give him a promotion and lock him down and keep him around here because he's doing an unbelievable job recruiting. But so the staffing, there won't be a change. Changes, I didn't mean anything drastic by that, Matt. I mean just the first year. I've never made an excuse, and I'm not going to start now. But the truth of the matter is that first year it is very difficult. I don't know what we have, what's in the tank of some of these guys. I don't know what's going to happen. When we need to dig down deep, who's going to step up, who's going to lead. I didn't have a good feel. We watched as much tape as we can, but it's hard to judge the talent and what they can do well and what they can't do. After 1 year, you have a much better fix on all that. I'm going to turn the heat up with the discipline and the work ethic of our crew because I think we were very fragile last year. It's a balancing act to get them to play at the highest level they're possible of. You got guys, you don't want to go in there and just browbeat everybody, then you're going to get nothing out of everybody. You know what I mean? And so there's a tough balance in that first year. I felt like I was proud of the effort. They were fun to coach. I wasn't lying when I said that all year. I enjoyed going to work every day. I enjoyed going to practice every day. That's a compliment to our players. Can we do better? Can we give better effort? Absolutely, we could be better in all areas, and the heat needs to be turned up in all those areas. We need to have an intense off season. It's started already. Our players are lifting and running already. There's no time to waste, and we need to bring in other players that can help us, and we need to get the players on our campus better.
On at the end of the year, it certainly seemed leading into the Georgia week that the suspensions there certainly couldn't have helped that performance.
They didn't help at all. No.
Was that as big a distraction as it seems, and is that going to be something that lingers? What I know you can't say a lot about it, but what can you say about that situation?
It was discouraging. You also see and I see, they happen. Throughout the country, they happen. A guy here, a guy there, different things, because we all have rules and regulations, and all, all of us are trying to keep our kids accountable. And was it a distraction? Yeah, I think it was. There was quite a few guys, and then we had injuries on top of it. It wasn't good, and we go on the road in a tough environment, and they took it to us. And but that's the way it is. We've got to respond. We've got to do better. And there's nowhere to hide, Matt.
No, not in this league. There's not.
There's no, you just face it and you go to work and you go to play. And I wasn't very happy with the taste that it left me after that game, both in our effort and with the suspensions. So discipline is an issue. I don't think we have a team that there's a bunch of bad kids. I think they're good. They're good kids. They're not always perfect. We need to continue to build that accountability and dependability and turn the heat up on them and make them disciplined. And we need to take our work ethic to a higher level. Now, there's a lot of things we could do better, and we're going to do better.
Siderius Smith and Bud Dupree, hopefully in the future you'll have a lot of guys that have the opportunity to make this decision between the third and fourth year, but they seem like the two guys right now who would have that choice. Do you think those two guys will be back next year?
I believe they'll be back. I'm going to get the information for them and show them exactly what the NFL projects them at and let them make that decision. But we'll, right now, I anticipate them coming back, but you never know. We're right at the beginning stages of that process in looking at and gathering all the information for those two players.
All right, you got to let me have fun for a second here, Coach. I got to ask you a question. This is a question probably nobody will ask you but me, but I got to do it. All right?
Yeah.
I do a show where we're on in Louisville, and Louisville has a recruiting coordinator that posted on Facebook. Essentially, he said, a UK fan came up to me and said, we play in the SEC, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you don't play in the SEC. You got to beat somebody. You're a participant. Now, when he said that, here's what I thought. I thought, Mark Stoops ain't going to like that. Now, that comment's not going to sit well. What were your thoughts on Clint Hurts' comment and that whole sort of trash talking? He took it off a few hours later, but what were your thoughts when you heard that?
Do you really want me to respond to Clint Hurts?
I definitely want you to respond.
That's too easy of a target. Come on, Matt. I can't respond to him.
So you're saying consider the messenger.
It's too easy of a target.
All right. I'll let you by on that one, although, I wanted you to.
I like that response.
I do like that response a lot. All right, a couple other things, and now I'll let you go. I know you got stuff to do. When you saw the Iron Bowl last week and how that ended and all that stuff, the atmosphere at Commonwealth Stadium frustrates me. All right, we have a lot of great fans that come and are loud, and there's a core group that's as good as anywhere in the country. But then I see the student section, for instance, Saturday, and I see some of that stuff. What is your thoughts on what Commonwealth Stadium needs to do to make it the atmosphere it needs to be?
Well, first of all, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I cannot thank the fans that are there enough, because they're passionate. We have an unbelievably passionate fan base, and it's so positive. It affects us in recruiting. It affects us during games and all that. Sure, I wish it was electric all the time, but you know what? I understand also that part of that's on us. We need to put out a good product, and they'll be there. We are working on that. So again, I appreciate the ones that are there. Keep on coming. They're going to come out more and more and more as we get better. I understand that. I want them there all the time, but it's pretty hard for me to call them out when they're sitting there and they are paying the money and they are showing up, and we're not playing the greatest football. But I promise you, we're going to get there. And we're on the recruiting trail. Me and Vince are about to pull into a high school here in about 10 minutes, and we're going to get the players there, and we're going to coach them better, and we're going to win games, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think what we're doing with the stadium is going to be just a great for the whole program. I mean, I can't emphasize that enough, and it can't get done fast enough. But when that stadium's done, and this 2014 class, gets out there and competes next year and helps this team, and we'll be one step closer the year after that. I think we're building it. We're getting there. We're getting the players in there, and we're developing the players we have, and so we're going to build the program the right way. So I think that's what I believe. That's my feeling on the fan base is they're great. They're passionate. They want to be there. But I understand it's our job to put out a better product, and we're going to do that. We intend on doing that, and we're working hard to do that.
I meant to ask you two fun questions. I only got one, so I got to get the second one here. At the Vandy game, when they went for it on fourth down, that seemed to frustrate you. Am I wrong about that? Did you think that was unnecessary?
I don't have any problem with the play, honestly. Does it frustrate any play? Any yard, any point is personal. So obviously, we had a tough year, you know what I mean? But I thought our kids fought hard, and we played extremely hard in that game and had a great opportunity to win. I thought, there was really one player on that field that really was a difference maker with their wide receiver. It was just deep.
He played great.
And, outside of that, I thought we played a very good game. But now, I mean, it's no big deal to me now. I mean, anything. Each coach, it's their prerogative to do what they want to do. I thought Butch Jones, he took a knee at the end. He could have probably punched one more in there, and that's what I choose to do most of the time. But that's whatever. That doesn't bother me. Each coach has to make that decision. So,
all right. Last question. I know you got stuff to do.
One thing's for sure in this business, Matt, is it always. I'm not talking about that situation. Just in general. What goes around comes around. You know what I mean? So
I understand.
We've all, believe me, I've been on both ends of butt whoopings, and I'm going to be on both ends in the future.
I love it. All right, last thing. I know you got to go. Recruiting wise, I know you can't talk specifics. You guys are set up to have a great class this year. You're now also starting to set up for the next year as well.
Yeah.
How good do you feel about where you are recruiting right now?
I'm could not be happier with where we're at recruiting right now, to be honest with you. Just getting out and getting into these kids' homes and seeing them, the commits that we already have, and to visit with them and their families. It's remarkable. This class is not only talented, they're great character kids, and they're leaders, and they're unwavering in their commitment to us. And it's a special group. Could not be happier with the way it's going. Believe me, people ask me all the time, Coach, you going to hold this coach? Heck yeah, we're going to hold this crew, and we're going to even get better. There's more surprises down the road. Believe me, we're gonna close strong, and the staff's out working extremely hard. So it's been a lot of fun so far, and look forward to closing this deal out.
All right. Well, Coach Stoops, thank you very much for taking the time to do this. I know you're busy with recruiting, but we really do appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Take care, guys.